Welcome back to the Shift. In this video, I want to talk all about consistency because as I train for the marathon and continue with my workouts in general, it reminds me of whenever I was back playing sports and it was just like that grind of like just continuously showing up whenever you don't want to. With the gym, I've always been pretty keen to go just because after a good workout, I feel re-energized and like I just feel like I can attack the day. But with running, it has been something that has challenged me because Chicago is cold as hell right now. And I forced myself to run outside as many times as I can because it's uncomfortable. And every day I wake up and I don't want to run and I go out there and I run anyways, I know that I am taking one step closer to becoming the version of myself that I want to become. And that leads me perfectly into the topic of this video, and it's consistency. I feel like a lot of people fall out of love with the gym because they lose consistency in the trial period. And I say the trial period because whenever you set a goal, you essentially get all angst up and you have motivation. But as soon as motivation fades, life will test you, no matter what it is, not even just in the gym, but within any area of your life. And a lot of people get to that point within the gym where they realize they have to wake up and they have to go to the gym, even though they don't want to go. Like it's the last thing they want to do. And then they let themselves slip and they do it again and they do it again and they do it again. And then the next thing they know, they're supposed to go to the gym 3 days a week and they haven't been in 3 weeks. This happens because people lack consistency. And it's so easy for us to be able to talk ourselves out of the things that we commit to doing. But I'm a strong believer that as a man, whenever you say something, you should do everything in your power to be able to keep your word because without your word, you have nothing. As a man, you are loved in direct correlation to the things that you can provide. And if you cannot even provide trust in the words that you speak from your mouth, you will have nothing. And I know that is deep. I know that is a tough statement for people to say here, but it's true. And by being able to show up for yourself consistently within the gym, holding yourself to a higher standard, eating healthy consistently, not one time, not 2 times, not for a week, and then going back to eating like shit, but consistently showing up for yourself time and time and time and time again, you start to build this level of standards that you hold yourself to that make it inevitable for you to be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And I was very lucky to learn this at a young age. The reason why I even got into the gym was because growing up, I played football. And going into high school, the one goal that I had was to be able to play on the same field as my brother before he graduated. He was 2 years older than me. And so when I got to high school, I broke my neck freshman year. And going into sophomore year, I knew I only had one more year to be able to play with my brother. And so I did everything in my power. I was at the gym every single day. I was working out all the time. I would literally have friends over at my house and they would sleep in and I would wake up at 5 a.m. and I would go to the park and I would do my drills and I would do my drills and I would do my drills. And my coach at the time did not want me to play for him because he knew that I had the previous injury and he didn't want me to get hurt again because it was so serious since it was my neck. And because of the standard that I held myself to, at the end of training camp, he called me into his office and he said, I don't know how you did it because I did everything in my power to not let you play for me, but you have made it where I have no other choice. I would hurt the team if I did not put you on the field. And I tell this story because what that did was it instilled into me that if you hold yourself to a certain standard, no matter what, you will be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And so the gym is the best place for you to start if you feel like you're lost or you feel like you have just been slacking in different areas because the better you look, the better you feel, and the better you feel, the better you show up for yourself. And you build this identity around somebody that shows up for themselves. And that's the best thing that you can have as a man. Because if you know that no matter what, you will show up for yourself, you will put in the effort, you will do the things that you know you should do, even when it's hard, you will never struggle again because you will find enjoyment in the process. Because every test that comes, you will realize it will take you to another level of standards that you hold yourself to. And that will just unlock more doors that get you closer to where you want to become. And so that's why one of the last things I always talk about is installing the standards because you can create the hero all you want. You can choose a test that forces you to like the world to coordinate with that version of you that you want to become. But if you achieve the goal and then you go back to the old version of you, what the hell is the point? You need to install the standards that got you to where you want to go. You need to make it where you have zero chance at falling back into the old version of you. And that's what Shift's all about. That's what this entire series is about. It's showing me become the person that I want to become. I have to wake up earlier to go run. And I know whenever I wake up and I don't want to be out there, every time I run and I get into the groove and I finish, I may hate it while I'm running, but when I finish, I'm so proud of myself. And then that energy that I get from showing up for myself shows up in other areas in my life. And I can be a better partner to my girlfriend. I can be a better son to my parents. I can be a better brother to my brother and sister. And it allows me to be the man that I know I want to be, then know the man or be the man that I know I can be. And I feel like that's so important. And so people always like to whenever I post a video about, like, going to the gym and, like, it allowing you to become that person that you wanna be, people are so quick to say, like, "No, it doesn't." But it's because they only look at the end. And the thing I obsess about is the process of going through hard shit to be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And, like, that's where consistency comes from. It's not from being like, "Oh, well, like, this is once I get to this point in life, then I'll feel confident," or not or anything like that. It's like you build consistency by knowing every time you show up for yourself, you get one step closer to the person that you want to be. You become just a little bit more confident. You look just a little bit better. Hold yourself, hold your head higher just a little bit more. And the more you continuously do that, the more it compounds, the more you feel confident in yourself to be able to show up in any arena. And that's the thing I love about the gym. And so that's why I wanted to make this video. Yes, it's about consistency. Yes, it's about working out, but I hope you can realize you can do this within any area of your life. I spent the majority of my life in sales, and every time I showed up to work and I made the calls I didn't want to make, I ended up making more money. But whenever I would first start off in my career and I didn't make the calls, I'd be like, why the hell am I struggling? And it was just because I was not being the person that I knew I needed to be. And the funny thing is, as soon as I started taking the gym more seriously, I started tracking my weights, I started progressive overloading and holding myself to a certain standard that no matter what, whenever I show up, I'm not going to slack off. I immediately started getting better at sales because I brought that same energy into sales. And so it's just like consistency is built by obsessing over becoming the version of yourself that you know you can be. Because each and every single one of us, our conscious will continuously tell us who we are supposed to be. But it's up to us to be able to listen to our conscience. It's up to us to be able to commit to going on that hero's journey to becoming the version of ourselves that we know we can be. And that right there is what consistency is all about. It's committing to being the main character in your own movie and continuously choosing to be that character because the main purpose of a main character is to be tested because through those tests, they become the version of themselves that we all know and love today. And so if you feel like you've been slacking or just have not been showing up for yourself in the way that you know you should, I hope this helps because with consistency, you can achieve anything. And without it, you're signing yourself up for a really hard life. And so I hope this helps. I normally don't really do motivational talks like this just because I think motivation's kind of hoopla. But I hope that through this video, it at least motivates one person to be able to go to the gym and stick to their word so that they can see how much their life changes whenever they become somebody who is confident in themselves showing up for themselves. And so that's episode 4. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.